Am I really that desperate for love that I'm willing to entertain things that are like a 70% match? Ugh. Why would you want to entertain a 70% match when you're looking for the full 100%? There's a version of Alex right now that's already married. Okay, I'm going to close my eyes. I'm going to tap into that version of you. Baby, where are you? Whoop, there you are, that earth. I'm 40. I'm not dating for shits and giggles anymore. I'm dating for fucking marriage. Hold the standard and then work on yourself and look at what you're asking for. Am I also bringing that to the table? Welcome to the Alex Tripod Show, the space where we blend 5D frequency with real world flex. After coaching thousands globally and becoming one of the most trusted and triggering voices in manifestation, I realized you don't manifest what you want, you manifest what you're willing to fucking become. So if you're a high achieving entrepreneur who knows that we're born for more wealth, more influence, more unapologetic power, then strap in. This podcast is your permission slip to collapse timelines, rewrite the rules, and embody the version of you that gets everything they came for. Because let's be real, nothing is real, everything's a hologram, and you're about to bend it all in your favor. Let's fucking go. Welcome back to another episode on the Alex Tripod Show. Today, we are going to go into something super juicy that I didn't think I was going to be ready to talk about just yet. But my podcast team were like, yeah, you're going to do an episode on how to manifest love so fast it feels illegal. And I thought it was quite fitting because it's been an interesting journey of, I guess, my own fears that I've had to alchemize of what my platform would say, falling in love, meeting the woman of my dreams and falling in love and being in another relationship only 3 months out of my previous relationship. And a lot of people would have a lot of judgments around this. And it was really interesting just seeing, I'm going to give you like a step-by-step process, like literally exactly what I did. And there's going to be a bit of storytelling too and a bit of vulnerability. And I first want to pre-frame the interesting, bring the water over. Thanks, babes. The really interesting belief systems and judgments we have on different topics. For example, let's say that 2 months from now, I scaled to my first $1 million sales month. And I did an episode of how to create your first $1 million month. Everyone will be like, yay, celebrating you. This is so interesting. I want to know how she did it. Great. But, to quantum shift in love? But healing takes time. You need to be single for X amount of time. You're avoiding and all these judgments that we have coming up around, which essentially is interesting because why do we have these judgments around love and how much time it should take to call in your soulmate versus how much time it should take to manifest and shift from a 9-to-5 job to your first 20K cash month in your coaching business or $1 million month or whatever. And why is one celebrated and you want to know how, yet the other one, there's more judgment around it. And to be honest, like, my platform's been fucking amazing about it. And I mean, I'm sure there's some people that are judging, that are just not saying anything. At the end of the day, though, I'm really fucking happy. So I'm going to share with you exactly what I did to call in love a lot fucking quicker than I thought was going to happen. Like, when I say I was like, okay, this is my single era, I declared celibacy. I literally declared celibacy on a podcast, and not this one, my friend's podcast. And I was like, yep. And that was because I was so committed to getting clear, finally, on who I wanted to spend the rest of my life with. Like, who is she? Who is my fucking wife? What's her essence? What's her frequency? How does she show up for me? And I got so clear on who that was, and I realized every single woman that I have dated previously was not even near matching what I actually wanted. And so this is kind of the first step before we go into what I actually did to quantum shift. It sounds so simple, but it's creating, like, I'm going to call it a wife template. you know, or for you, it might be a husband template, right? So for me, I'm 40. I'm not dating for shits and giggles anymore. I'm dating for fucking marriage, right? I don't want another failed relationship. Even though I don't see any of my past relationships as failed relationships, I see them as upgrades to who I've become. I'm like that Ariana Grande fucking song. Thank you, next. But like, thank you, ex. Thank you. Thank you so much. Because of you, I have learned so much about myself, my patterns, my traumas. I've upgraded. I've quantum shifted in my standards, in my self-worth. I've always elevated in like what I actually want to, how I want to relate with in a relationship. So it's been amazing. Like I have nothing but so much love and gratitude for all of my exes, even if we haven't stayed in friendship. So the first thing I got down busy with was getting really clear on my non-negotiables, on crafting essentially what I called my divine union template. Who is she? And not just like she has long brown hair and she's this or she's that. I mean, like, she's got fucking depth. She can meet me emotionally like I've never been met before. She's a fucking little naughty pocket rocket in the fucking bedroom and her libido is sky high like mine. Like I got so fucking clear. Like how do I want to relate with her sexually, physically, emotionally, intellectually, spiritually, right? And then getting really clear on not just like physical features and desires, but non-negotiables. And it's interesting because the woman I'm actually dating, or actually not even dating, she's my girlfriend, and this might give it away because we actually haven't come out on socials. I haven't actually revealed who it is. I've just said I'm in a relationship. She's actually a sex, love, and relationship coach. Winning, right? But I share this with you because like, I think it was like our second date. And it was so interesting because it was our second date and we were both like, we just cut out the bullshit. She's like, well, I'm dating for marriage. I'm like, well, so am I. And she said to me, she asked me, like, what are your non-negotiables? And I'm like, oh, like, and like, what are your deal breakers? And I was like, oh. And it was like really interesting to see. She's like, I'll give you a clue. Usually what your non-negotiables are, a big indication is why you broke up with your previous relationship because those needs weren't being met. And I'm like, ah. And so without revealing too much, in my past relationship that ended 3 months ago, a pain point, which was literally a pain point for the entire year I was relating with this woman, was there wasn't enough depth and presence. Like I just felt like emotionally it was shallow. And that's not to say anything was bad and wrong with her. It was just we were not compatible. She probably found me too emotional. I wanted to go too deep. I wanted too much presence. I wanted too much depth, right? Which again was my stuff like, oh, am I being too much? Am I asking for too much? No, I'm just not with the right person, right? And so first step was getting really clear on my divine union template, my wife template. So I got so clear. And after I got really clear on this, I was like, cool. It's kind of like, it was like a process. It was a once and done. And it was like a kind of like giving it up to the quantum, to the universe, to God, be like, this is my non-negotiable. This is what I'm calling in. And I made a promise to myself that it was this or nothing. It wasn't, oh, this, but I'll go on the apps and I'll see who's on, or this, but hey, I can fuck some girls in the meantime to like fill out time because I like physical and sexual intimacy and I don't want to go 6 months or a year without being intimate with someone. It like, which has also been my pattern, right? I don't like going long periods without physical touch. So in my head, I'm like, oh, how can I fill the gap? What's my in-between thing? Like I always wanted someone in the mix or someone to date. And this was the first time I've gone, I've got to do something radically different. I'm going to promise myself there are zero fucking distractions. This is a period of this is my wife template. And in the meantime, I will literally give all that love to myself because I am the love of my fucking life. I am the only constant I will ever have in my entire life. I am my ride or die. Me. It's me. It's not someone else. And there was a deeper embodiment and understanding and commitment to that this time. I really feel it. And a lot of you might be listening to this being like, yeah, Alex, such a deep commitment. You were single for a whole of 6 weeks until you met her. Well, yeah, but the thing is, I made a decision. And in that decision, I committed to being celibate if it wasn't everything on my list. It'd be no different to making a decision and going, I'm all in on my business. I quit my fucking job. That's it. I'm taking out a loan. I'm going all in. There's no plan B. It's plan A. I've cut off the ties to any of my past life. And isn't it interesting that people that dabble, oh, I'll see how this hobby goes. You fucking take years and you're still not at 10K months. But those that say, this is it, I'm all in, I'm going balls to the wall. I'm taking a huge fucking risk on myself. There's no plan B. Isn't that interesting that the common denominator is they're usually the people that get the quantum shifts, right? So it's not about how long I was single for. It was a fact that I made a decision to not entertain anything else other than what was on my non-negotiable list of my dream fucking partner. The interesting thing that I want to share with you here as well is, funnily enough, and I have mentioned this in the podcast before, that how did I get to the age of 40 and never once think to do this? I guess love and marriage was just really not that important to me up until now. I think I've just been so obsessed with my soul's mission the last 10 years. I never really put value on, I need to get married, I need to have babies. I don't look at those things that's going to bring me purpose, because my soul's mission has brought me so much purpose, and relationships have just been this cherry on top thing that's created connection, pleasure, and joy and love in my life, right? So I share that with you because this is the first time I actually did a list like that, and it changed the game for me because it made me realize how much I've entertained partners in the past that were not near what I wanted in a relationship. And I know it's like manifestation 101, especially when we're trying to call in a partner. It's like, well, are you asking for things in a partner that you aren't being yourself? You know, and it's not to say that, like, if you want a partner that's financially stable, or like, let's say you want a man that's banked, it doesn't mean that you have to be fucking banked. It's not like you have to be the exact thing that he is or she is. It's more like, if I wanted to be with a woman that can meet me at the fucking depths and can give me presence and is genuinely interested in my life and that can bring the emotional fucking depth that I desire, am I being that? And I'm like, abso-fucking-lutely I am. Like, this is why it's so painful to be in relationship where there isn't depth, because I literally am that. I bring so much presence and so much depth into a relationship, right? Same with my non-negotiable. It might sound weird, but like, I'm refuse to have vanilla sex. For me, sex is an extension and an expression of my life force energy. Why the fuck would I want to be with someone where sex is rigid or boring or clunky or a quickie, or like, I want it to be this, like, it doesn't always have to be fucking amazing, but I want it to be this playful expression, this playtime where it's an extension of our essence, right? So again, I had to monitor, like, and I go, this is going to sound fucked, but you know, it's like, am I that person in the bedroom? Yes, I'm fucking amazing in the bedroom, and I want a woman to match me at that depth, right? So we can have fucking amazing, deep, sexually intimate, I see you fucking passionate hot sex. So step one, get really fucking clear and then make a promise with yourself. Why am I entertaining anything that is not this? Am I really that desperate for love that I'm willing to entertain things that are like a 70% match? Ugh. Why would you want to entertain a 70% match when you're looking for the full 100%, right? And that's not to say that you shouldn't stay open to dating because you don't know if they're going to be a full 100% match. But what I am saying is hold the standard and then work on yourself and look at what you're asking for. Am I also bringing that to the table, right? The second thing that's really important after I did this list and after I declared celibacy and after I promised myself I would not be going on any apps and after I promised myself I would not be distracting myself with dates and chats in the DMs and there were a few people that reached out to me and pounced on me pretty much immediately in the DMs wanting to take me on a date. And there was those options to flirt and distract. Ooh, I don't have to feel my loneliness. I don't have to feel the pain. I don't have to feel what it feels like. Because a big part of me, like relationships, like I love companionship. So it wasn't that like I was, and again, I don't want to sound like that I don't have a fucking heart because I do. But what I missed the most from the last relationship was the companionship. And I realized like companionship isn't enough, right? That's one component of a relationship. And I had to basically go into my DMs and like basically cut off any part of me that wanted to entertain always having chats with girls in the DMs. I'm like, nah, like out, like stop, like completely out. And then while I was in Bali, I remember doing a full podcast episode on this. And basically that's where I really went into facing parts of myself that I don't think I've ever faced before. So this is where the healing comes in. And this is where people will be like, oh, wow, Alex, you healed for a whole of fucking 5 minutes. Yeah. It's called healing in 5D time. It's called shove your linear, logical, bullshit 3D fucking time rules up your ass, because the same way I quantum shift in my business, in my body, financially, is the same way that I quantum shift in love and healing as well. Okay? So in a nutshell, I was in this hotel room, torrential rains, nothing to do, no friends to catch up on, nothing. I can't tan, I can't explore, I can't go out for lunch. There's nothing to distract myself with. So all of a sudden, I don't even have girls in the DMs to distract myself with. I've got nothing to distract myself with. Me in a fucking hotel room, torrential fucking rain, nothing in my call schedule, no clients to serve, nothing. And so I was forced to deeply look at something that I used to call boredom. Boredom. I'm bored. There's nothing to do. I'm bored. And that boredom, for the last 10 years of my life, if not more, has actually been the thing that's made me fall into relationships that are not my divine union 100% bullseye. Because I'm like, oh, you'll do. You're some companionship. I don't have to face off with the darker parts of me. I don't have to face off with my fucking shadows. I don't have to meet myself at a deeper level of intimacy and presence within myself because I can distract and be with someone else. And so when I looked what was underneath boredom, it was exactly that. It was the avoidance of actually being with myself on a deeper level, a deep, deep level of presence. Like, whoa, like that level of presence with yourself. And what's underneath that? Is it sadness? Is it loneliness? Is it the parts of my inner child that still felt rejected or lonely, that was bullied as a little kid on the sandpit with no friends? Like what was really underneath that and feeling that? I remember like it was probably like 2 or 3 days straight where most of the days I'd be like holding myself in fetal position, just like crying and convulsing and holding myself and crying and like literally being with myself and not reaching out to coaches or friends or WhatsApp or having voice notes or distractions to feed my ego or to talk about my breakup. Like, no, it was like just literally being with it. And this was incredibly healing. And I remember making a I am her activation. It was like I was like, well, I need something to plug into. So I kind of created like a personalized vibe booster. And it was like a personalized breakup vibe booster. And it was any time I wanted to go out there to distract, I'll launch something, I'll message a friend, I'll go do something, I'll drink some alcohol, I'll DM a girl, I'll go on the apps. Anytime my ego, my brain wanted to mask what I actually needed to feel, instead, as soon as I'd feel that part of me creep up that wanted to go do that thing to distract, to not feel what was underneath boredom, I would plug into this. It was like a beautiful 4-minute audio created for myself. And it was like so deep and emotional. And it was so coded. And it forced me to like meet myself. And I'd plug into that like literally 6 times a day. That was so, so, so healing because it was like I created a new pattern. Anytime I wanted to go distract, it would be like, nope, a deeper invitation to self, a deeper invitation to self. And I feel like that was a huge piece. So I got home from Bali. I'm still fresh, broken up, like 4 weeks in, right? And I get home to my apartment and, you know, I'm thinking I'm going to be sad. There's photos of me and my ex all around the apartment. She's moved out while I'm in Bali. Like this is going to be intense. And interestingly enough, because I had processed so much sadness, so much grief, so much deep intimacy with myself in Bali, that when I walked into my apartment, I felt so neutral. There was nothing there. I was like, wow. And it was this level of just strength and I've got me and a trust. Because the reason that I used to avoid is because I didn't want to feel emotion. I didn't want to feel sadness. But because I'd met that sadness and that depth so many times, I wasn't scared of it anymore. So I'm in my house, and then there was another layer of boredom that needed to be met. So what I mean by this is, there's 2 parts here. 2 really, really important parts, which is going to be the missing piece for most people. Number 1, from this wife template or divine union template, I then started to create imaginal acts that would focus on living in the end result of who I am now that I am in a happy relationship with my wife, now that I am an engaged woman, now that I am in a relationship where I feel so deeply met, seen, loved in all areas of my life. And I realized that, and I always talk about identity creates reality. The reason that I wasn't in that relationship was because I was identifying as someone who was single. So I needed to identify as someone who was happily engaged or in their healthiest, happy relationship that felt deeply met. And so I started creating all these vibe boosters, and I basically gave my wife a name. So it wasn't just wife template. I gave her a name, and her name was Ava. I was like, it's Ava, cool. So I had this name in my head. She's Ava. And again, it's not like my girlfriend's name isn't Ava, okay? But it was the template of the name. So you might want to give it a name instead of just husband, right? My friend is doing this with me, by the way, and she's manifesting her husband, and we've given him the name Jackson. So anytime I talk to my friend, I'm like, hey babe, how's Jackson going? So we're like fully in the vibe. She's like, how's Ava? This is way before my current girlfriend and I were together. She's like, how's Ava? I'm like, oh my God, Ava and I are so fucking good. And the reason that I was able to delusional talk like this is because I spent so much time in the quantum being with Ava, having sex with Ava, relating with Ava, waking up in the morning while Ava makes me fucking pancakes and we giggle and we live together. And it's just like this fucking, like, I had like 5 different vibe boosters of like me and Ava living our fucking life. This is where I'm going to say freaky shit happens, okay? Quick pause, legend. If you've been doing all the journaling, the healing, the courses, and you still feel like you're stuck at the same money ceiling, the same fears, the same invisible blocks, then you need to get yourself to TFX, the Frequency Experience. This is my 2-day transformational event on the Gold Coast where we literally detonate the old identity that's been running your life and activate the version of you who already has it all. You'll walk in as one version of yourself and you'll walk out as the one your future's been waiting for. So click the link in the show notes to claim your seat because there are literally only 80 people only allowed at this event until fully sold out. All right, back to the episode. I always talk about self-concept and how nothing is real, everything's a hologram. Everything in our reality is basically what you assume it assumes about you. So, you know, your audience assumes about you what you assume your audience believes about you. Money assumes and shows up for you how you assume money will show up for you. It's all a fucking hologram. So your dominant thoughts, feelings, and beliefs about money, about your audience, about the algorithms, about your partner is literally reflecting back to you, right? We have the power to literally code everything in our reality. The really freaky thing is once I started plugging into these imaginal acts every single day, like it got so addictive, I just loved it. I started almost merging and identifying as the version of me who was in a relationship more than the version of me who wasn't. And this is the problem that most people have. I'm broke, I want to be a millionaire, but you're not putting yourself in the living in the end result of feeling abundant. What would it be like to be in a business that's thriving? What would it be like to have consistent 20K months, 50K months, 100K months? No, but you want to focus on what is. You want to focus on your current reality. You want to focus on how shit your fucking business is. You want to focus on how leads aren't coming in. You want to focus on your shitty bank account right now. Your job to shift any area of your life is to look at, okay, what is the version of me who vibrates in the reality, who actually has what they want? So I started identifying as the version of me with the presence of a relationship in my life more than the absence of the version of me that wasn't with her wife. And what's really freaky is literally there have been so many moments, things that she said, how she shows up, it blows my fucking mind how it's almost like word for word. Like if I played back these imaginal scenes and acts to my girlfriend, which I'm not ready to do yet, it's hilarious how on point it is. She's literally that essence. She literally says those things to me. She literally shows up exactly like that for me. From the depth to how we make love in the bedroom, it is fucking wild. Wild. And also it's not, because I've coded myself with that many fucking times. And I've experienced it that many times vibrationally that of course my 3D reality must conform to what I'm living every day vibrationally. This is our true power, guys. It's in the quantum. It's vibrationally. So all I really did was I realized there's a version of Alex right now that's already married. There's a version of Alex right now that's already in a healthy, happy relationship with the woman of her fucking dreams. Okay, I'm going to close my eyes. I'm going to tap into that version of you. Baby, where are you? Whoop, there you are, that earth. Woof. And I connected to that version of me in that earth. And then I basically started identifying as her. And so this version of me now just started to dissolve. And that version of me started to feel more real. The final piece of how I manifested love so fucking fast, it felt illegal, which I'm going to say, like, the imaginal acts are getting clearer in the template. That's a huge part. That's like, I'm going to say it's like at least 60 to 70% of the game. right? The last piece for me that really alchemized any resistance, there was this time thing. I'm not going to lie. There was a part of me that's like, I don't want to wait years. I'm already 40. Like, why would I want to wait to bring in my soulmate? Why would I want to wait to build my empire with someone? I want to build it with my wife. I want to build it with my person. Like, I wanted to be there at events. I wanted to be there while my empire is growing. I wanted to be there while I'm building my property portfolio. I don't want to get rich and be successful and meet her when I'm 45. And so there was this like, okay, I'm okay with that love. I love that I can meet myself so whole, more deeply than I ever had before in my life. But also, reality is I don't want to wait 6 months or a year or 2 years. I want to believe that I can call her in fast. And the breakthrough was twofold for me. Number one, I realized that there's something called divine timing. And there are some things that are out of our control. What I mean by this is I can do all the imaginal acts and everything, but was there a part of me that still wasn't trusting in God, still wasn't trusting in the universe, still wasn't trusting in my heart and her heart being brought together at the exact right time for the greatest good of all involved? Meaning, the final piece for me was, okay, it might take a month, it might take 6, it might take 2 years, baby. But when I dropped into every day, every week, every month that goes by, that she's not your woman and she's not in your 3D reality, God is preparing you and God is preparing her. So when you do come together, it's fucking so incredibly magnificent and better than what you consciously could even comprehend right now, Alex. And when I took peace in that, like, oh, every day without her, it's just actually preparing the relationship to be even better than I expect. It's actually just preparing me and her so that when we do come together, we don't fuck it up. We're actually ready for each other. And there might be a last few bits of healing and breakthroughs and things that she needed to experience and I needed to experience, right? And I'm not saying that you have to be perfectly healed to come together with your divine union. Like, healing can happen in the relationship, obviously. But there was such a peace in me being like, of course God is going to bring, and when I say God, I mean the divine, love, everything, universe. That's when I use God. I don't mean it from a religious term. It was like, oh my God, of course the universe, of course God, of course source energy is bringing our hearts together at the exact perfect right time. And when I surrendered the time element, it happened so fucking fast because that was the last piece of resistance for me. I will add in one bonus little hot tip, and I'm not sure if anyone's going to resonate with this. For me, being 40, a lot of my friends are already engaged, married, trying to have babies, had fresh newborn babies, you know? So it's like you're either trying to get pregnant, you've just had a child, you're engaged, you're with your 10-year boyfriend, you're like all of them are either in relationships or having babies or trying to get babies, and their focus is family or already have family. That's just the age I'm at. I'm not 25 anymore, right? So like, I'm like, what do I do every weekend? What do I do every night? This is not where I'm 21 years old anymore. Hey, bestie, come over and sleep over every fucking night. Like, I don't have those friendships. I have beautiful friendships in my life, but they have husbands, they have relationships, they have babies. So I found myself almost resentful. Like, every night, another night by myself. And so what shifted for me was going from, and I felt the shift. There was a part of me that was like, another night, another Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday night by myself. You know, and don't get me wrong, like I could organize things to do, but at the same time, I'd say 6 nights out of the 7 nights, every night was by myself. Cook myself dinner, watch something on TV, maybe meditate, do something useful. And again, it was that sting of boredom. And for me, when it changed is I still remember the night. I went from like, God, everyone's with someone. Everyone's got companionship. Everyone's doesn't feel this thing of loneliness. Everyone's got love in their life. Except me, I'm just fucking single and bored and lonely and alone. And I went and I recognized that and I was like, ew. Because if you attract a relationship from this space, you're literally attracting from a wounded place and you're trying to get her to fill a fucking void. No, Alex, no. And I caught it. And it was such an interesting transition. And it didn't happen for long, which is why this podcast is called, episode is called How to Manifest Love So Fast It Feels Illegal. I feel like I only had maybe like 2 weeks of being like, I literally went from, another night to myself to, holy fuck, yes, another night to myself. And it was like, how lucky am I? People fucking froth for this kind of alone time. All the peace, all the presence in my life. I get to selfishly choose what I want to do, what I want to eat, what I want to watch, what I want to. Oh my God, I love being in my own energy. This feels so fucking good. And I was literally like in this orgasmic fucking gratitude that I get to be single and I get to be selfish and I get to be in this fucking dream beachfront apartment, not answer to anyone, do what I like, when I like. And I was like, oh my God, people have got screaming kids and they're all like, and I fully reframed it. And I was like, people would like literally die to have a week to themselves. And here I am experiencing this freedom every fucking day. How lucky am I? And that switch happened. And I genuinely, instead of being bored, because it always happened around 5 or 6 o'clock every night. Every day I was busy. Podcast things, no, creation. And then it come to like slow down in the day where people usually go home to their partner or something. And that's when I'd feel the sting of the boredom. And that's when I felt the shift into, oh my God, I love being in my own essence. I love being at the night to myself. And as soon as that happened, I realized finally I'd found a whole new level of wholeness within myself. So that's basically wraps up how to manifest love so fast it feels illegal. You're going to get really super clear on your template. Who are they? Your husband, your wife, your partner, your divine union soulmate template. You're going to literally cut out any options that are not this, meaning this is your standard and you're going to hold your standard. Okay, you're going to fill the gaps with people that are already showing red flags from date number 1 just because you're bored and lonely. No, fuck it off. Make a decision. This is the standard. Then you're going to look at potentially some of your shadows, right, of why you've fallen into relationships in the past or why you've stayed in relationships for way too long when it has not been what you want it to be, not healthy, maybe toxic, maybe whatever it is. And then you're just going to literally do the work to, number 1, trust in divine timing, trust and know that God, universe is preparing you for the most magnificent, greatest love story ever that's coming your way. And you're going to fucking fall in love with your own energy, your own essence, and actually realize you will only have this time being single. Like, if you're truly calling in your person and this next love story is your forever, is the one, you'll only have this time once ever again in your life. You will never, ever have this time in your life again. So enjoy it. All right, wrapping it up. I love you guys, and leave a comment. Let me know what you need to work on to call in your love. And I'll see you in the next episode. Big love. Thanks for tuning into the Alex Tripod Show. If this episode activated something inside of you, leave a 5-star review on Apple or Spotify and hit that subscribe button on YouTube so you never miss a frequency drop, because this isn't just a podcast, it's a mission to raise a vibration of humanity, to awaken millions, to build new earth, one lit up legend at a time. And if you're ready to go deeper, wilder, and all in on your soul's legacy, come play on Instagram at Alex Tripod. I'm there daily, dropping codes, calling out bullshit, and helping you manifest the life you actually want. Let's keep playing big, because we're only just getting started.